Pocket FM.
To unlock all the episodes, click the link in bio.
Damon glanced at Talia to confirm that she didn't react when the man called him Mr. Blake, and Damon took that as her approval. Yep, she definitely didn't mind using his last name. There existed a time when werewolves didn't have last names. Even in modern times, they identified themselves by the first name, pack they belonged to, and their position. However, since they coexisted with humans, each werewolf family had a surname. It helped them blend in. When Travis set up Talia's appointment with a nutritionist, he asked Damon what surname to use because Talia told him that she didn't have one when he wrote down her personal information. Actually, the lack of Talia's background went beyond just her last name, and it told Travis how neglected she seemed. Talia Blake, Damon responded to Travis after a second of silence. It sounded right. Blake? Are you sure? Travis asked, knowing that no one would dare to use Alpha's last name lightly. Does that represent a problem? No, not a problem. Travis quickly denied it. Who represented he to question his Alpha? Back to the present. It seems nice to see you here, but I hope it doesn't represent anything serious. The man spoke excitedly while extending his hand toward Damon for a handshake, and the friendly smile told Talia that the man knew Damon from before. Dr. Jones expects you. Damon stood up and shook hands with the man before turning to check on Talia, who gingerly stood behind him. Mr. Mendez, this represents Talia. The appointment belongs to her. I wonder if it won't create a problem if I come in with her. Not a problem, Mr. Blake. Please, come this way. Talia walked after Damon as they made their way through the hallway, and she thought how it seemed strange that these people called him Mr. Blake. So far, everyone had called him Alpha or Alpha Damon, but humans didn't know about the werewolf hierarchy and how scary Alpha Damon could seem. Talia didn't think that Blake fit him. It seemed too ordinary, and she also heard it not long ago. Mr. Blake. Blake. Talia repeated silently while jogging her memory, and her face fell when she realized that only a few minutes ago she heard that last name, but it tied to her. Why did Damon say that her name represented Talia Blake? Did that represent his way of joking? Talia had so many questions, but she knew that this didn't represent the right place or time to voice them, so she kept quiet. Actually, there existed no good time to ask those questions, period. The best thing involved not having any connection with Alpha Damon. The further she stayed from him, the better. She already had so many things to deal with, and people misunderstanding her relationship with Alpha Damon shouldn't get added to that pile. Talia told herself not to panic. Talia Blake just represented a temporary thing in order for her to have this appointment in the human hospital. And she would never, ever, ever, ever use it again. A short nurse with a red pixie cut and big green eyes made Talia stand on the scale, and she took her height and weight before giving questionnaires for Talia to fill and telling them to sit and wait for the doctor to come. Talia noticed that this nurse also stole glances at Damon. Damon's incomprehensible gaze glued to Talia, and she wished that he looked away before people started getting funny ideas. Dr. Jones represented a middle-aged woman whose brown hair lifted into a loose bun, and her age didn't stop her from eyeing Damon in a way no doctor should look at a patient. Actually, Damon didn't represent a patient, but he accompanied one, and Dr. Jones's behavior didn't seem professional. Damon and Talia sat on chairs, and a desk separated them from Dr. Jones. The woman asked questions, and Talia responded, but Talia doubted that the woman listened to a word Talia said because her eyes didn't leave Damon. After some time, Dr. Jones pushed into Talia's hands brochures about balanced meals that included examples of portions for grains, proteins, vegetables, fruits, oils, and also recommendations for water intake. With just one glance, Talia confirmed that this represented generic information she could get online. Since Maya gave her the tablet, Talia spent a lot of time on the internet, and she looked up malnutrition and balanced meals that Travis mentioned, and nothing that Dr. Jones said seemed new. Talia felt exasperated. Why did she even come here? She could have stayed in her room and sleep instead of waking up and getting ready while experiencing stress due to Alpha Damon's presence. And she also felt concerned that Alpha Damon would accuse her of wasting his time. Wait, didn't he say to Casey that he had something to do in the town? But then, why did he come with her to this appointment? Talia glanced at Alpha Damon and met his gaze directed at her. "Do you have any questions for Dr. Jones?" Damon asked Talia. Dr. Jones didn't ask any questions. She just talked like she had all the answers. Talia's experience with doctors included that they seemed warm and kind and attentive, and Dr. Jones seemed none of that. But Talia knew that Damon brought her here and that he represented a donor, and that she should feel grateful for everything instead of complaining. "No," Talia responded in a small voice. Of course, Damon knew she lied. Damon spent the last decade in various meetings and situations where he needed to read people, and he seemed quite good at it. He didn't miss Dr. Jones' flirty behavior, and as much as he wished that Talia felt jealous, he could see that didn't represent the case. Talia's defeated expression gave him heartache, and he had an urge to fix it. "Dr. Jones, it seems that my wife doesn't feel happy with the level of service you provided." Talia's eyes widened. Did he say wife? Wife? But it just represented a show for the human hospital, right? Right? Without waiting for Talia to respond, Damon's arm moved behind Talia and his hand landed on her shoulder. "Excuse me," Dr. Jones spoke in a shaky voice. "Did I do something to displease you?" "You know very well what you did and what you didn't do, Dr. Jones." Damon narrowed his eyes at the doctor. "Are you aware of the donations my Blake family contributed to this hospital?" The middle-aged woman looked visibly flustered while her eyes nervously moved from Talia to Damon. She wondered if she read the situation wrongly. Dr. Jones didn't know what represented the relation. Damon spoke coldly to the doctor across the table. "Because of our relationship with this hospital, we came here first. To say that I'm disappointed is an understatement. When we return home, my dear wife and I will reconsider our future donations." That... Dr. Jones felt that her soul might leave her body. "Please reconsider, Mr. Blake. This was just the first appointment for us to get comfortable with each other." She saw that Damon's expression turned icy and she quickly corrected herself. "I mean, for me and Mrs. Blake to get to know each other. The next appointment will be more specific and tailored to her needs." Ignoring Dr. Jones's excuses, Damon took Talia's hand in his and closed his eyes while savoring the delightful sparks he craved for. Talia was still reeling from the shock of Damon labeling her as his wife in public. For Talia, all of this was unexpected, yet she couldn't look away from his icy blue eyes. She noticed the slight furrow of his brows as he stared at her. Was something bothering him? She wondered. Dr. Jones was saying something, but neither Damon nor Talia heard her as they were lost in their own world of mixed signals and complex emotions. After an unknown measure of time, Damon pulled himself out of the depths of Talia's honeyed eyes, and he turned to the doctor without letting go of Talia's hand. "Dr. Jones, there will be no next appointment. We will be in touch with your director." Damon's voice was distant, like he was the king addressing someone way below him. Damon stood up, and Talia followed without the need for him to pull her up. Talia walked next to Damon, and she stared at his hand that held hers. His hold was solid and warm, and even though it didn't hurt, she was aware that she wouldn't be able to pull her hand out unless he allows it. Damon is way above her, and unless she lets go, the only outcome is heartbreak. Damon is the alpha of the largest pack in North America, and she is nobody. However, after Damon gave a lesson to Dr. Jones, Talia didn't mind holding his hand just for a bit longer. Just for a bit. His hand holding hers came with a dose of security, and she acknowledged that this Damon makes her feel safe, like anything is possible. "Mr. Blake! Mr. Blake!" A breathy male voice was heard when Damon and Talia stepped out from the automatic double door on the main floor. It was Mr. Mendez, the man who welcomed them in the wellness center. When he caught up with Damon and Talia, Mr. Mendez patted his chest and took a few deep breaths to stabilize his breath, and then he spoke quickly. "Mr. Blake, I'm not sure what happened, but Dr. Jones said that she apologizes for her indiscretion. She didn't mean to offend you." "Mr. Mendez, you shouldn't be talking to me. Dr. Jones offended my wife." Mr. Mendez's eyes flashed in surprise and Talia's knees shook. She couldn't believe that Alpha Damon addressed her as his wife again. How can he lie like that? And it's in the open. What if someone overhears? How can he be so calm? Talia understood that Alpha Damon probably did this play many times before. These people are not shocked that he addressed her as his wife. They are probably surprised because the last time he came here, his wife was someone else. It made sense. After all, Alpha Damon has many women who want to be his Luna, and Talia was confident that this is a game Damon enjoys. She told herself not to overthink it because by tomorrow, if not earlier, some other girl will hold Damon's hand, and Talia will be lucky if she's not accused again of stealing food. "Mrs. Blake, please accept our apology." Mr. Mendez's words pulled Talia out of her thoughts. She looked at Damon, silently asking for guidance on how to handle this. But Damon shrugged and gave her hand a squeeze, which she understood as a sign that she can handle it any way she wants. How should she handle it? Talia took a deep breath and imagined herself as someone who has a solid backing. Someone like Damon's Luna, Mrs. Blake, because right now, that's who she was. "Mr. Mendez," Talia called, "it's not on you to apologize for someone else's fault. And in this case, an apology won't solve anything. Dr. Jones's behavior was unprofessional. I came to her because I needed help, but she acted like my condition was not important. I wonder if I'm an isolated case, or if other patients have similar experiences. I hope that you can conduct an investigation and take measures as needed. Show us that you will be unbiased and put your patients first. Our donations are for the benefit of patients and not for the staff to act haughtily." Damon forgot how to breathe while feeling the royal aura around Talia. If he was not holding her hand, he would think that he imagined it. Or maybe he did imagine it because Talia was like a queen with an ancient alpha bloodline that could suppress everyone, him included. But the air around her was not oppressive. It was strong and gentle at the same time, the one that makes others want to please her. Mr. Mendez pulled a white handkerchief from his pocket and dabbed beads of sweat that formed on his forehead. He looked at Talia apologetically and bowed a little before responding. "Yes, Mrs. Blake, we will conduct the investigation and let you know about the outcome." Talia nodded curtly and turned to Damon. "Can we leave now?" Damon hummed in agreement and led the way toward the car. He was impressed with how Talia handled herself. She didn't raise a fuss based on the identity his wife has, but she pointed out that patients come first. Talia made sure that Mr. Mendez knew she was displeased, yet she didn't sever their ties, giving him hope that he can salvage the situation by handling the case himself. Talia was not arrogant, and she didn't allow them to step over her while fighting for the others. Selfless. She used her authority and power to benefit less privileged ones. Damon and Talia got into the car, and seconds passed in silence that stretched thin and pressed on Talia's delicate nerves, turning them into strings that might snap any time. "Did I do something wrong?" Talia asked, unable to conceal her insecurity. Damon realized he was staring. "No, you were brilliant. Dazzling, amazing, fantastic, perfect to the point of making him question if he was worthy to have her as his mate." He was mind blown because Talia didn't have any training, nor did she follow anyone's example. Talia did what she thought was right, and it left him speechless. To say that Damon met hundreds of Luna candidates is probably not an exaggeration. Those women flaunted their background, status, power, wealth, appearance, yet not a single one showed care for the little guys. And here was Talia, a seemingly simple girl who used the identity Damon gave her to fight for people she never met. Any pack would be blessed to have Talia as their Luna. And this girl in front of him was his. Talia cleared her throat awkwardly and glanced down.
You can let go of my hand now. Mr. Mendes left, and no one else can see us. We don't have to pretend to be married anymore, she said with difficulty.
Damon hummed ambiguously. Who said you're my wife only for this hospital visit? Talia's brain stuttered, refusing to process Damon's words. What's that even mean? Nothing made sense. Damon chuckled and started the car. Without letting go of her hand, he drove out of the parking lot, merging into the traffic of the human town. He didn't want to let go of her hand. Not now, not ever.
Please subscribe to the Pocket FM YouTube channel and press the bell icon for instant notification. Check out our channel for more such exciting shows.
Pocket FM. To unlock all the episodes, click the link in bio.